Okay, hey YouTube. It has been quite a while since my last video. I think 6 weeks, maybe 7. But I promise it's not because I'm done making videos or I'm done with the trans community. It is more so because I've just spent probably of those 6 or 7 weeks, 2 or 3 of them on the road outside of Dallas, and then kind of in between playing a lot of catch up. So since my last video, I've been to New York, Milan, Venice, Detroit, I know I read it right, London, San Francisco. I think that's it. I don't think I've taken any other trips in between there, but that is why the videos have not been coming. But I did think about the subject for today's video, which is, why do trans people stop making videos, or more broadly, why do trans people kind of grow out of the community? And so that's actually something that I've heard in the questions a lot, people asking kind of, why does this happen? But it's also something that other trans people have told me. And so kind of throughout transition and growing into myself, I've had a lot of people tell me that, you know, when I get to where they are, I will understand their perspectives. So how they kind of grow out of being trans or grow out of activism and just want to move forward with their lives as the men and women that they are, rather than as trans men or women. And you know, that's valid, and I can see how for some people that's why they kind of fall into stealth, because they don't want to deal with it, or they want to move past it. Transition is something they did, not someone they are. And I get that, but, you know, that's not what's going on in my case. I think for a lot of people, probably what happens is that trans stuff becomes less and less relatable or important to you, because as you move away from transition and some of those kind of immediate needs, you start to get to a point where it's hard for me to talk about what it was like early in transition, because I don't really remember. Like, this is the new normal, this is the new baseline, and so it's hard for me to say, you know, what changed, or how did I feel before and after, because, you know, there are times where you wake up and you sort of forget that you're trans, and the more you can do that, I think it's a lot easier to do that when you're not talking about trans stuff, and I think for a lot of people that helps. I think another reason is, so I'm cheating here, I'm looking at my notes that I made to myself on the train. Part of it is there's kind of this Groundhog Day effect of always answering the same questions kind of over and over again. And, you know, you like to refer people to earlier videos that you've made or other stuff that's out there, but at the same time, people, you know, early in their transition are always going to have the same questions, and people who are looking at changing their legal paperwork are always going to have the same questions. And it's not, you know, at this point, I've got it down to where I can give, like, the same 3-sentence response to most questions. But it's kind of hard to try to be there for your fans and continually kind of get asked the same things over and over again without, you know, like, trying to keep your content fresh and keep it interesting, and not repeating a video that you've made twice or 3 times or even just once before. And I think that probably the most realistic reason why people stop making trans videos is because life gets in the way. Whether you're traveling, working, starting a family, doing those things, like, other stuff becomes more pressing, more important to you. than trans-related stuff. But that doesn't mean that trans-related stuff has to disappear or can't be talked about. But it is, harder and harder to set time aside to do something that you've been doing for a while. And so, with that said, if people have interesting questions, things that they would like me to talk about that are kind of unrelated to the typical trans stuff, please leave them in the comments, and I will be more than happy to make a video with something that I've yet to really discuss or talk about.